It's Kai Pachu with the Weekly Pele Report. I just can't get over this guy. He is one of my favorites. I am too busy working to leave the house, so we get another home video today. It's the Weekly Pele Report for January 15th of 2020. Oh yes, indeed. And I waited just a couple hours here. I wanted the moon to go into Libra before I did this report, because hanging out in Virgo there has not been like so super easy. She's going to be moving through Libra, you know, kind of bringing in a little more chill energy. Speaking of Libra, here is our number 2. Got that over in Bali last time. She's great, huh? A little brighter and lighter than the other guy. Anyway, yeah, moon in Libra. There she is, coming up to her 3rd quarter square, 26 degrees, 52 minutes of Libra on Friday. Friday's the day for that square moon, and then she goes right into Scorpio. Scorpio all day Saturday and Sunday. Sunday she moves into Sagittarius. It's going to bump into Mars. We know Mars is up there in Sagittarius. Going through there Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. She moves over into Capricorn. And the moon just keeps on moving. Keeps on changing. And so does life. Venus sextile Uranus now as I'm speaking. She's over there in Pisces, giving a nice sextile over to Uranus, and you know, coming into, I got to talk about a little bit, you know, really from now pretty much later on this week until February. Venus moving through Pisces is, you know, catching up to be in a square with Mars. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. But in addition to Venus sextiling Uranus, let's see if I can get all 3 of these guys in one shot for you. This is my backyard, man. That's the house. Check it out. Okay, there they are. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, I like nature, but, you know, people make some cool things too, huh? And they invent and innovate, and that is what Aquarius is all about. Mercury goes into Aquarius tomorrow. Sun goes into Aquarius next Monday. Things are going to start moving up and out a little bit here. I'm going to talk about that. As soon as Mercury moves into Aquarius, what's he going to do? Square Uranus, right? Aquarius to Taurus. Uranus is in early Taurus. So we've got this Aquarius, Uranus, you know, Mercury. It's yeah. Let me just look at the camera and talk about it. All right, everybody. First of all, congratulations to you. You want to pat yourself on the back. You've made it through a lunar eclipse. You've made it through Saturn conjunct Pluto. Oh yeah. Now we know Saturn is going all the way up into like almost 2 degrees of Aquarius, and then turning around, going retrograde and coming back. But it's not gonna come all the way to Pluto. So usually a lot of these transits happen 3 times, and they go on for quite some time. I mean, we will say that the seeds being sown with this Saturn-Pluto conjunction, of course, are going to go on for almost 40 years till the next Saturn-Pluto conjunction. But immediately, Saturn will be going up and coming back. It's kind of like a 9-month process. So around September, Saturn is going to be pretty darn close. I mean, they're not going to be on top of each other like they were Sunday. But they're going to be next door neighbors, that's for darn sure. And by that time, Jupiter is going to have, you know, come up into the game. So what can I say? It's not over yet. And what's not over yet? I'll tell you what's not over yet is the transition This is a huge transition. It's not just even a 40-year transition. Like I said, the last one was in 82. Now we've got 2020. The next one's in, 2056 or something. I don't know, So this is, part of an even bigger process. Jupiter is coming along. And the last time we had that Jupiter-Saturn-Pluto conjunction was 1894 or something BC, the founding of Babylon. I mean, this is, almost 4,000 years ago. We're in this big transition. And big transitions are slow. I mean, every once in a while there is a, catastrophic upheaval. I remember reading the book a long time ago by Immanuel Velikovsky, Earth in Upheaval. What an amazing book. I mean, he's passed on now, but he was a revolutionary scientist that, got kind of kicked out, very Aquarian. Okay, he had his own theories and ideas that people just really didn't agree with. This is so Sun and Mercury going into Aquarius with Mercury squaring Uranus. Brings up, I just thought of this guy. He was great, though, because he brought in the idea that carbon dating could be wrong, and so that our whole history of planet Earth could be wrong. All that it would take is changes in the carbon, in the amount of carbon that was, in the air at the time, and all the carbon dating, how they, find carbon, and it could be all erroneous. What if carbon levels rose or carbon levels sunk? Okay, then all of our dates for, historical research, according to present-day science, would be off. So his book, Earth in Upheaval, was just that basically we didn't have this slow, gradual process, okay, that an ice age took forever and that da-da-da-da, but rather he gathered up evidence like frozen mammoth elephants, that their meat is still edible, okay, over in the Himalayas, because what? They got flash frozen, right? And he saw, and he went around and he picked up all these bones, bones in the caves, of Spain or something, where you could see that, it was a tidal wave that came along, okay, and so it's just like, things have not been slow and gradual. Saturn, you think of Saturn, Pluto, and you think of slow and gradual. You think of deep and heavy. But even the deep and heavy, I think there's a volcano going off now in the Philippines, right? Bali just had another one. They're shaking here in Costa Rica. The Earth in upheaval. Capricorn is an Earth sign. Saturn, Pluto is not done in Capricorn. And this Earth in upheaval, in astrology, Earth is not just Mother Earth and Mother Nature and volcanoes and earthquakes and things like that. It's also the survival, it's food production. It has to do also with money, currency, and finances. Everything that has to do with our physical survival in our physical bodies on this physical planet is now going through this transition. And it's just like this transition is one of where each and every single one of us, the other thing that Capricorn is about, this is so weird because I had no idea what I was going to talk about today. This is all just new to me, man. This is coming out of the blue. But, where was I? So, what's happening, with this whole transitional time is that we are realizing, and it's like the mantra for today, the limitations of time and space. I was just at a funeral last night for, a friend of the family who, woke up Sunday morning, he was getting his plane ticket to fly back to the United States, and he had a stomach ache. And he went into, it really hurt. He went into the emergency room. He laid down on the table, and it was an aneurysm in his stomach, and it went to his heart, and he died. within 3 hours of a stomach ache, he was gone. And I got to say, I have, this, it's almost like this Saturn Pluto has opened the gates of life and death. I mean, Scorpio is the forces of life and death. And there have been so many babies born in the last 2 weeks, like more than I've, I know of at least 5 babies that were born, boom, 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 like since Christmas. It's like one after another. The babies are coming in. And I also know of at least 5 people that have passed on to the other side. I mean, this is changing. And that's the thing, is everything is changing. And we don't know what all is changing. It sneaks up on us. It's beyond our ego control. There's only so much that we can do, right? We are not in charge around here. We were born into a world that was already existing. And, this is where I have my issues with The Secret and all this positive thinking kind of stuff. You know what? Our thinking is about like this big of the piece of the pie. Yeah? The ego has got this much impact on what's really going on around here. This is why we go into meditation. This is why we do yoga. This is why we open our crown chakra. This is why we get out of the ego. Because it is so limited and we don't see the bigger, wider, broader, expansive picture. But we are going to. Because the sun's moving into Aquarius and Mercury is moving into Aquarius. And Aquarius is about the big, wider, broader picture. It's time to take a step back. Step back. Step out. Review things from above, from outside. Get out of your conventional routines and regular rhythms and just like really initiate, innovate, envision. Aquarius is the future. Now the challenge that we have is what? Jupiter is still conjunct the south node of the moon. And that Jupiter conjunct the south node of the moon is saying, okay, that there is a lot of past. We all have a past. I don't care if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whether it's this life or other lives, we've got a past. We've got habits. We've got conditioning. We've got beliefs that were handed down from the parents and the society, and we've got conditions that we were born into. There's a book by Carl Koenig, The First 3 Years. The first 3 years lays it all out, baby. Anyway, yeah, I'm starting a new school of astrology, the New Paradigm School of Astrology. And we're going to be looking at the progressed charts. The progressed chart is a chart that you can do of your astrological birth chart. 1 day equals a year. So you go 30 days after you were born and you draw up a chart for that, that 30th day, and it's going to, describe the conditions, elements, and growth that wants to happen in your 30th year of life. Anyway, astrology is the study of time, growth, and evolution through the cycles. And the cycle that I was talking about is Jupiter on the south node. And what that is saying it's almost like you can't have your cake and eat it too. And when you're walking, you got to pick up your foot and put it in front. Okay, if you're going to move, you got to let go. You got to let it go. You keep on playing those mind games. That's another Mercury-Uranus. Okay, but what I'm saying here is, and I think you can get it, that Jupiter is a lot, and the south node of the moon is the past. And when Jupiter passes over that south node of the moon, it's saying that it's time to let go of a lot of the past. And this can happen with, and the mantra for today is, the limitations of time and space. We've only got so much time. The human lifespan is only so long. We've only got so much energy. We want to really use it productively, efficiently, intelligently, to have the greatest impact, to create as much as we can possibly create, and love as much as we can possibly love. This is the pressure. Saturn, Pluto is pressure. We are all living now under a tremendous, intense amount of pressure. And what is that pressure? That pressure is to manifest. It's to do what you came in here to do with your life. It's to set goals and to achieve what you have come in as a soul to achieve. And this requires focus, determination, self-discipline, controlling ourselves, our energy, our resources, and acting intelligently for the future. Not just about thinking about this next hour and I'm hungry, or this next week or this next month, I'm horny, or I've got to pay the rent, or I've got to, and just be driven by, these, the motions, okay, of the ever-changing moon. Okay, Saturn goes around every 28 to 29 years. Pluto every 248 years. This is the big, deep intentions. The evolutionary intentions of your lifetime. So returning back to Jupiter on the south node of the moon. It's like you can only take so much with you. When you go on a trip, you can only fit so much in your suitcase. You go over 25 kilograms and they won't let it, on the plane, or you're going to have to pay an extra $100. It's amazing. I won't get sidetracked again. What I want to say is, just look at it. You can only have so many friendships. You can only have so many relationships. Relationships take time. Right? I mean, it's like, how many friends can you have? How many messages can you leave on Instagram and Facebook? It's like, how many phone conversations? How many video calls? How many can you have? How many people can you sleep with in a lifetime? I mean, how many people can you love? How many people can you really, it's like emotions, connection, heart space. It takes time. And our mind and our thoughts, we think, way faster than we feel. Feeling safe, feeling secure, enough to really expose our deepest fears, needs, shadow, whatever, okay, So intimate relationships take even more time, right? It's like the deeper you go, the thicker it gets. So it's just, really, whoa. And so this is really a time of decision. And decision, it comes with priorities. It comes with values. And we've got Uranus moving through Taurus, awakening us to a deeper, new set of values. And out of those values, then comes priorities. And out of those priorities, then comes our decisions. I'm going to spend time at this, and I'm going to let go of that, and I'm going to, further this relationship, and I got to let go of that relationship. And it's just like, this is this Saturn-Pluto. And the Jupiter South Node could be in this place of, I want it all. And Venus and Pisces, I want it all. Even Mars in Sagittarius wants to expand and take it all. So, we've got, it's you know what I'm saying. I'm sure that you're feeling this because we're all kind of caught on the merry-go-round of time, baby. We want it all and we can't have it all. And so we have to decide. So we've got Saturn, Pluto, okay, saying, you know what? There's limitations and boundaries, and you got to learn how to say no. You got to move on, cut the cord, you know, and just like really drive and push and do, pick up the pace, yeah, and put your time, energy, and attention, your morning tea, into something that is going to give you long-term, long-lasting results. You know, Capricorn Cancer is the security axis. We've got the moon's nodes there. We've got, you know, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto there for, you know, quite some time, this whole year. You know, and this search for security. What is the most secure? What's the most secure? And what is temporary? Saturn Pluto wants permanence. It's like concrete. It's like, okay, I want to get into I want to sign this contract forever. You know, so that you're never going away, or that, you know, this job is, I mean, we're gonna, you know, I mean, this is a time of building empires. You can build your own personal empire. This is the time to start laying the bricks and the foundation. Like I'm starting this, you know, school, and I mean, it's just like, boom, you know, this is the time. I may be looking into starting a community here in Costa Rica for refugees of the electronic disasters that are approaching. You know, it's just that this may be the time, you know, get yourself some freaking property, man. Anyway, where was I? Yeah. So, this is a good week, okay, to handle it. Moon going into Scorpio thrives on intensity. It's like, yeah, give me some intensity. Saturn, Pluto is intensity. This transition into Aquarius, okay, is also, okay, what we're going to be doing now is picking up the pace, picking up the speed. It's time to liberate. Aquarius is the sign of liberation. So we've had the sun in Capricorn for a month now. Okay, and it's been, you know, buckle down and harness and, you know, keep it together and, you know, conserve. And now it's moving into Aquarius. Get that ticket for Astrology Rising. You know, like step out. Okay, you know, come to Costa Rica, you know, come to other places, get into astrology, metaphysics, get out of your rut, step outside the game, outside your routine, see the bigger, wider, broader picture. That's what this time is really good for. Let's wrap it up here. You got it. And I am forever being reminded of the limits of time and space. Rather than let it get me down, I've got to pick up the pace. It's business. Saturn is business. Capricorn is business. There's a time and a season for everything. And I'll tell you what, the time now, the season now, is to get down to business. It's sobering. It's external reality. And it's what we're here to affect, to create, and to manifest. So the more active we are inside, the more we're creating a reality instead of wanting to like chill, escape, or whatever, and have that reality made for us. Leads to being the victim. So, go for it, baby. I am forever being reminded of the limits of time and space. Rather than let it get me down, I've got to pick up the pace. Go for it, Ace. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.